Now this is Styxhexenhammer666, who I like a lot. I like many of his videos, but let's just listen to the first 2 minutes of this. Now, the Gnostics are Valentinians, Basilians, Ophites, Scythians. All the major Gnostic groups attribute Paul as their founder. The being burned alive, tortured, murdered, thrown to the wild beasts, this happened under pagan Rome. The Gnostics never called themselves Gnostics. They called themselves Christians. They believed that the forms of the other sects of Christianity were Judaizers. They believed them to be Judaizers. Arians were most certainly not Gnostics. The only disagreement they had with the Roman Catholic Church was one iota, one letter in one word. They completely agreed with the Nicene Creed, except for the letter I in a word, whether homoousia or homoiousia. There were groups of Gnostics that made a resurgence about 1,000 years later, known as the Paulicians, the Bogomils, and the Albigensians and the Waldensians, although it's debatable whether the Albigenses and the Waldensians were actually Gnostics. But the Bogomils, who believed in toll houses, were something different. The church was not buildings. The church just meant ecclesia, it's the assembly. And the Gnostics were part of this. So were what we think of as the Catholics, or the Proto-Catholics, or the Proto-Orthodox. There wasn't all that division. Remember, they were under a persecution that lasted over 300 years. And most of the Gnostics were gone by the time of the Edict of Toleration. Although many argue that Gnostic ideas worked their way into Eastern Christianity, such as things like theosis, Sophia, logos, and pleroma, which are extremely important parts of Eastern Christianity. He describes gnosis, the type of what he describes as gnosis here, because gnosis just means knowledge, is uh, basically kind of blending the pleroma and the monad together. Now, I noticed that he didn't respond to my last video, and it seems that I had embarrassed him by the fact that I've actually studied Gnosticism in depth, like, all of the early writings, the polemic writings, and even the stuff that came out of the desert. And I was, and were able to read. But I would love to talk to Styxhexenhammer666. I will send this to him. But it's actually shocking that within the first 2 minutes, nothing that he said is either historically correct or correct when it comes to Gnosticism. Peace to you, and I hope to talk to Styxhexenhammer soon. And I'll just leave it at that, because I said before, if he ignores this, I'm just going to keep going after, because I'm trained in history and in early to late Roman religions like Manichaeanism, Marcionism, various sects of Gnosticism, and I almost feel like I should go toe to toe with him, because spreading misinformation. I'm not going to make that challenge as of yet, but just a simple conversation would be fine. But if I see my link taken down, or something like that, then I might actually have to correct things, because he is acting like the early papal church and just erasing the truth. I mean, talk about anti-Gnostic. And I'm not accusing him of that. It's just that it seems like that was his actions that he took mirrored a lot like what happened on Mount Segura in the Languedoc region. Peace to you.